Welcome back. Now what we need to do is that we need to add products to cart. So for example, if the user clicks on buy now, we add the product to cart. So let me head on over to the project to work on it. Now the first step, we need to open the index. I'm gonna open the index, and then in the index.play.php, let me scroll quickly to the products. So as you can see, we have a button here. The button is this button, buy now. This buy now, instead of just making the button useless, we need to convert this to a form. So I'm gonna say here, let me add here some space. I'm gonna say form, and then form, and then inside this form we need to store a few information that we need in order to add the product to cart. So the first thing that I'm going to store is an input, and the input is going to be hidden, and the name is ID. We need to know the ID of the product that we will add to cart. So here the value is going to be equal to double curly braces and then product ID, product arrow ID. Second, we want to store, the second thing that we want to store is the name, product name. I'm going to say name is equal to name, and then the value. The value is going to be equal to double curly braces, dollar sign, and then product name, product arrow name. The third thing that we need to store, let me copy it and then paste it. The third thing that we need to store is the product price. The fourth thing that we need to store is the sale price. I'm going to say sale underscore price, and here sale underscore price. Next, we need to store the image. I'm going to say image, and here image. The last thing that we need to store is the product quantity. I'm going to say here quantity. However, the value cannot be product quantity because the quantity in the database is different from the quantity that the user wants to buy. The quantity in the database is your quantity, is how many items you have from that product. But here we need to store one because by default we are going to assume that the user is going to buy only one item, and then the user or the customer can increase this from the cart, can increase or decrease this number from the cart. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last input is the button. So I'm going to say here input, and then the type is submit, and the name is add underscore to underscore cart. The value is buy now, and the class, I'm going to say class, the class is option 2, and I'm going to remove this buy now button. Let me save and let me refresh. So now if I refresh, as you can see, now we have buy now. This buy now will add the product to cart. Now for this form we need to give it method and action. So I'm going to say method. The method is post, and the action is add to cart. The action is double curly braces root, and then add to cart, add to underscore cart. Finally, we need to say here at CSRF. So what is this? This is a piece of code that will protect the form from hackers. And if you want to know more about this code and the security side of PHP, you can take my course. The course is called Security Best Practices for PHP Developers. Now what we need to do is that we need to create the add to cart route. So I'm going to head on over to the web.php to create this route. I'm going to create this add to cart. So I'm going to say here, I'm going to say route, and then post, and then add to cart, add underscore to underscore cart, and then comma, and then cart controller class add to cart, and then name add to cart. And then we need to create the same exact route, but it's going to be a get request. I'm going to say get and then add to cart, and if the request is get, if it's a get request, we take the user to the home page, because I'm only going to allow the user to add to cart using the post request. So here I'm going to say return redirect to the / which is the home page. The last step is to create this add to cart function. So we need to create this add to cart function in the project in the cart controller. So in the cart controller, I'm going to create this add to cart. So I'm going to say here public and then function add to cart, function add underscore to underscore cart. Now let me save everything.